So let's talk about the Cowboys. Cowboy season so far. I've been telling you, listen, as much as I'm a Cowboy hater, all the people were saying Cowboys pretty good. Cowboys pretty good. People, football people smarter than I,
Gabe, I
who actually
told
watch the
you,
tape.
bro.
They
Gabe,
said
I
pretty
told you,
good.
dude.
As much as I want to write them off, they said pretty good. Julian, Cowboys. How do you project them going this season? We're now, how many weeks in? How do you feel
Dude,
about
I
the Cowboys?
told you. I told you. I was like, beginning of the season, I was like, don't say it. It's like, don't say it. Because you know what they're going to do. They're always going to disappoint. But I'm just kidding, though. I mean, well, kind of. I don't know. I mean, they're 3-2. No, wait. Are they 3-2? Why am I drawing a blank?
They are. Hold on. I'm looking at their record right
Oh
now.
my
Yeah,
God.
4-2. 4-2.
4-2. My bad. They were 3-2. They beat the Chargers. Dallas Dak Prescott looked pretty good in that Chargers game. They had a bye week this past week, so I'm kind of referring to 2 weeks ago. But Dak Prescott, he looked pretty solid. They look good. Obviously, the defense is as stout as ever. I got them on my fantasy. The defense is amazing. My biggest question mark is that offense and what they can do. And Dak, man, he's just not looking great. I mean, he looked all like I said, he looked decent. He did enough to win the game against the Chargers, but like, I'm sorry, Dak is not going to win you a Super Bowl, man. He's not. Cowboys are going to be a playoff team. They're going to probably win a couple playoff games. They're going to be pretty tough. But are they better than the Niners and the Eagles? No. In a weak NFC, yes, they can make the playoffs. They could win a wild card game. But are they getting past the Niners and the Eagles? No. If the Cowboys had to play in the AFC, I don't even know if they make the playoffs, to be honest with you. I think they fight for the playoffs. They're a wild card team in my book, but because they play in the NFC, they're probably going to win the division. So, my bad. They're not going to win the division. The Eagles are going to win the division. So they're probably going to be a wild card team. I always say, man, don't buy the Cowboys hype. Don't do it, Gabe. I was like, don't do it, man. You know what's absurd to me though is they will hype the fuck up out of the Cowboys, but meanwhile the Jags are 5-2, and like they're like, oh whatever, they're all, or the Dolphins are 5-2, and they're like, oh whatever, not that good. But then the Cowboys win a fucking game, and people are like, oh shit, they're going to the Super Bowl. Like, but I mean, we'll see if Dak can keep up off of this performance that he had against the Chargers. His total season stats, I was looking at it now. He has a 61.7 QBR. He has 69% completion rate, which isn't terrible. But he only has 6 touchdowns on the season, man.
Yeah.
6 touchdowns.
He hasn't thrown for more than over 270. 270 is his season high so far.
Yeah, and that was this past week.
Chargers, yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, no, man. He's been averaging 1 touchdown a game outside the first one against the Jets, where he had 2. But then the week before that against the Niners, he threw 3 picks. So, yeah. I mean, they got blown the fuck out, 42-10. Like, so no, I mean, Cowboys, like I said, Cowboys are going to cowboy, man. People always hype them up that they're going to be great. I just don't like. Yeah, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're not winning that division, and they're probably not going to pass the divisional round. So that's kind of where they're at.
As I project going forward, looking at their schedule, they still have to play Philly twice. They have to play Seattle. They have to play Buffalo. They have to play Miami. They have to play the Lions, who are having a good season. And the bad teams are really bad. They still have to play Washington, which is not doing that great. They play the Giants and the Rams the week after. The Rams this week. So I think they have a potential to have. There's some tough games in there, some tough matchups for them, but I think they have a potential, to split at least. Split right now. If you look at the playoff picture, I think they're number 6, so they're in the playoff. If season were to end today, but yeah, I agree with you. Eagles probably going to be number 1, and they'll be fighting for the number 2 spot. We'll see what they do.
Because think about it. Think about it here. Like, all right, they're going to play the Rams. They'll probably win that. They're probably going to lose against the Eagles. Let's say they split against the Eagles. That's what? How many losses are they at now? Okay, so they're 4-2. Let's say they're 2. They lose. Okay, that's 3 losses. Say they beat the Eagles on one of them at home. Say they win at home. Do they beat Buffalo? Do they beat Miami?
At Buffalo, at Miami.
Do they beat Detroit? Like, they're probably going to come out of this season, let's say 6 losses, which isn't a bad season.
Yeah,
but
it's not a bad season, but is that good enough?
Is that a dominant to like perennial fucking title contender? No. Like,
and again, if you want to say convincing wins, I mean, they did beat the Jets 30-10. That's probably their best win, and and they eked out the one against.
Well, they fucking swept the Giants 40-0.
I mean, it's the Giants. It's the Giants. So yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs. We'll see if they vomit all over themselves in the playoffs, but I think they'll
mind you, they lost to the Cardinals too.
Yeah.
They lost 28-16.
You want to talk about the Dolphins beating up on bad teams? I mean, Jets really only one convincing win for me in my eyes.
The only convincing win is probably the New England one. Man, they did. It's weird. They're like blowing the fuck. Like they blew the fuck out of the New York Jets and Giants and New England, and then it was a close game against the Chargers.
I'm saying.
But then they lose to the Niners. They get destroyed by the Niners. Lose pretty handily to Arizona. So